Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Boxing Coalition. My name is Cam. Joining me tonight, Leon and Naota, and you know Dan's going to have to come in for his 10 minutes, eat his crow, then probably leave, so hope you guys are all well. Leon, start with you. Robert Garcia solved the problem a couple of years ago with Marcos Maidana. He did it a lot easier with his little brother Mikey.
Yeah, well, Mikey didn't have to get out of second gear to win that fight, I don't think. You know, that was, he was in second, third gear that whole fight. I don't think he even had to show his full range of his skills to beat Broner. You know, it was really, really very easy win for him. I mean, I had it 9-3, but I think, you know, mercy round in there. Yeah, and that first round difficult to score, so you just got to choose who you think's, yeah. It's a difficult one to score, right? But I just thought Broner jab was working in that first round. But, he was what he always is at the moment, you know. Not enough output, not busy enough, trying to be cute, but getting him nowhere. I mean, and then he starts to fight in the last couple of rounds. I mean, yeah, he's just done enough to lose again.
Yeah, just too negative, man. Especially early on, I've never seen him kind of, I wouldn't say run, but be so elusive early on, just going on the back foot, just kind of here and there. And when he avoids punches, he moves so much, man. Like, he doesn't know the meaning of just slight slip. It's like he moves his whole body, ducking out the way. But Naota, you thought last week it was going to be a bit closer than it was. How did you see the fight playing out?
Yeah, you know, the first time I watched it, I was multitasking. I was handling some business and everything. And then the second time I watched it, I was able to watch every punch, you know, being thrown and landed. And the first time I had it scored 9-3. The second time I had it scored 11-1. I thought Garcia just damn near washed Broner. Broner had some good moments here and there, but they were just too few and far between, too late to actually matter. You know, and even in some of those rounds, there were rounds that Garcia was still controlling the pace of. You know, he was still controlling things largely with his jab, good measure of distance, the excellent timing, the good body work, I think, helped to take any real confidence that Broner might have had coming into the fight away from him. You know, it was just a matter of Garcia putting his work together and setting the pace that he wanted in the fight. And Broner couldn't really force him out of that, although he did try on certain occasions. It was just way too inconsistent. At first, he was throwing that snappy jab out there, which I guess might have swayed some of the people to give him that first round. But beyond that, the only round that I actually saw Broner legit winning was the 9th. And even then, that was largely he stole it at the end of the round with those clean body shots because pretty much the first 2 minutes was still Garcia controlling the action for the most part. Garcia did appear like, you know, he was maybe getting a little bit tired late, possibly in part from the body shots that he took from Broner, which were clean, you know, hard shots, and partially maybe because, you know, the new weight and, you know, the getting adjusted to fighting all 12 rounds, especially considering the fact that he's only been 12 rounds once before.
He was still winning rounds, though, wasn't he? He was not getting
absolutely.
beaten. You know, I think
I'm just speaking specifically about Garcia in terms of his future prospects.
Yeah,
especially if he was to move up again to welterweight. You know,
I don't think he's got any business being up at 140, really.
Yeah, he kind of lacks the physicality and the power there to do damage to legit guys with good chins at that weight class. Or do those guys necessarily exist at that weight class at the moment? Maybe not, you know, considering Crawford's probably going to be moving up soon, and it's any guess as to what's going to happen between him and Ndongo. So he may be able to still flourish there. He may still be able to flourish there because of the fact that the division may not necessarily present him with those challenges that are able to push him back and push him to that limit.
But you might want him to go down again to try and get people up from super featherweight to lightweight because there's better matchups there. You know, that's what I want to see.
Definitely
lure people up. But
the best money fights are guys that would probably be coming up to lightweight or at lightweight or otherwise at welterweight. But versus reward-wise, lightweight would be a better shot for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mikey looked really good, you know, and I think he nullified anything that Broner was going to do, although he didn't do much. But I think he He got in and out very well, didn't he? And when he was getting out, he was throwing a little double jab or jab so that Broner couldn't kind of counter punch him after his kind of combination punching. That's one thing I noticed. You know, he's a very good fighter.
Yeah, I mean, there were certain times where it's like in the midst, as they were, like after they would both throw a punch, maybe they would graze or miss each other. In the midst of both of them resetting, Mikey would throw like almost like a chopping like right hand, almost like if you were like arm wrestling somebody and slamming their hand down to the ground. He would throw a right hand like that, and it would land. And like I was really impressed by that because it's like he wasn't even completely on bounds for that shot, but it landed clean.
Does the one thing I think Broner doesn't trade, does he? Very rarely does he trade.
It's either
me
go or you
in
go.
the middle of your punching. Yeah,
it's either defense or offense with him.
So don't. I'm sick of being told, and people still saying he's special. No. He's a special talent. He's not a special talent. Look, there's things that have been proven in this fight. He's not a special fighter.
I think I'd say he might have had special potential, but I think
potential. Yeah, but that means nothing.
Yeah, I don't think he's a special talent. I think he's a wasted talent. I think with his attributes and if he would have brought some of those characteristics that he had at the lower weight up into these weights, but it seemed as the money came, the notoriety came, he went off the rails, and you can't 100% say it was through that reason, but it kind of makes sense.
Well, and I'd say that was more mentally than physically, because I still think that he trains his ass off for every fight. I think he's the work hard, play hard type of guy. And if anything, maybe some of that boxing IQ has been lowered over the years as opposed to grown.
I just find it so funny though, Naoto. You'll see like YouTube and Twitter feeds and vines of him throwing like 10-punch combinations on the pads and tapping the bag away while he's doing 100 punches. And then when he's in the ring, he's just doing pot shots and one shots and two shots. It's like,
like they say, like Bruce Lee once said, boards don't hit back.
That is true.
But look, there's other things as well that keep on getting said about him, which I think now the evidence doesn't back up. Like this idea that he's got the dog in him, right? You in the Maidana fight, in the Porter fight, and in this fight, he came on strong in the end.
Yeah, no.
Coming on strong in the last 2 rounds when you've lost 8 or 9 or, the majority of the rounds before is not the dog in you. The dog in you start doing that shit in 5 and 6 going, I'm getting beaten here. I'm going to go for it. So he doesn't have the dog in him. Because he hasn't won like your ass whipped.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but in his top fights, the 3 top fights he's had and his losses, he's won out of 36 rounds, 8 rounds. So it's not the dog in you to suddenly put a little bit of effort in the end to try and make it respectable.
To try and steal
it's just
rounds,
bullshit.
basically.
Yeah,
to steal rounds.
But you've lost the fight already. So he knocked down Porter. Yeah, he put it on Maidana at the end. Yes, he came back at the end of his fight, but he didn't win shit. He was never going to win shit on the back of that little spurt. I think it's just bullshit, man.
Yeah, being a dog, having the dog in you is like if you're trying the entire time and you're getting your ass whooped early, and then eventually you're able to kind of come on with the effectiveness that you were trying to institute early, but you were always trying to institute that effectiveness.
And he could never, like, in this, Mikey looked like a smaller guy a bit to me. He didn't. He's a smaller guy.
Definitely,
yeah.
He is.
But he couldn't even wear this guy. His output was so astonishingly low. I mean, those middle rounds just kind of, watching the fight, they just kind of flew by, didn't they? With not very much happening apart from Mikey doing stuff. He's a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
It goes to prove he's a bully.
What was it, like the 7th? Like the 7th or the 8th round when Mikey had his hands down and he was still walking him down the entire time? Yeah. And Broner wasn't throwing anything at him.
But, even though Mikey was in second gear, I was still really impressed, man. Like, the amount of feints he was throwing to make Broner react so he could kind of place the punch where he's going to be was excellent. His cutter off the ring was really good. Like, I think I watched both commentaries. I watched it live with the Sky Sports, and then I watched it today again with the Showtime. And Paulie made a great point that he's putting this constant pressure, making Broner work without having to, throw that many punches early on, especially because just being close enough, just those half steps forwards, it just made Broner feel uncomfortable, like he had to move, like he had to kind of duck out the way, and he's exerting loads of energy, and like Mikey's not doing anything. But I have to disagree with you, Naota, about Mikey maybe like getting a bit tired towards the end, because I take punch stats with a pinch of salt, but they shown it at the end, and I think either at the 11th or the 10th maybe, or possibly 12th, I can't remember, but one of the rounds, they said he threw over 100 punches, and it was like double what Broner threw in that round. So, and it was easy, man. I said it last week. I thought it was going to be easy work, and
I thought, yeah, exactly, yeah.
I thought those last couple of rounds. I thought those last couple of rounds were a little bit more throwaway though than the sharp punches he had been thrown and landing earlier though. So, if anything, I'd say the tiredness affected more so his accuracy and precision than it did his output.
Yeah. I think Broner started coming towards him a bit more in the later rounds. Because
I think the output actually kept Broner from walking him down more. I think just him moving his hands, kept Broner from throwing. Because like Leon alluded to, Broner, he doesn't really like to throw when somebody's throwing back at the same time.
Yeah, and then the last few, Mikey, because he was throwing a bit more, he was a bit open to shots, and he did get clipped with the left hook a few times. He took the punch as well, but Broner did start catching him towards the end of the fight.
Speaking of left hooks, Mikey was throwing a really nice double left hook early in the mid rounds. When Broner would kind of bend over to his right side, he would clip him, and then he would clip him again as Broner started to stand straight back up. It was really beautiful stuff.
But I think one of the things that Broner was having successful later on was that body work. I don't think it was working. It just you sitting there watching it, going, just fucking do something.
Yeah,
come on, do anything. Because
he would have had to do that way earlier.
Yeah, that first round, I thought, this could be quite interesting because he was moving quite well and using his jab quite well, and I was thinking maybe he could do what I thought Peterson did to Danny Garcia, where he moved, lost some early rounds, but won a couple, and then just walked Danny down in those last 6. I think me and you agree on that now, don't we? We scored that. Was it you? Did you score that to Peterson as well? I thought he did a really good job, and I thought that's maybe what Broner was trying to do, but he didn't.
If I remember right, I think I probably had that a draw. I think I had that a draw.
Yeah, but I think.
But Peterson was definitely working Garcia over in those last few rounds, though.
Exactly. I just thought maybe that's what Broner was going to try and do and move, but then he kind of stopped moving as well, didn't he? He started standing there again, and from round 5, just flat-footed again. Yeah.
Leon, you talk about the first round. The British crowd would at least wait until the second round to start booing. Americans don't give a shit, man. You've not done anything for 30 seconds, we're going to start booing you.
Well, no, it's not even just that, but at the same time, like, Broner's fighting a smaller guy, and it's almost like he's kind of hesitant to get on the inside, where you think that he would have the best opportunity, specifically because of his hand speed, specifically because he's a bigger, stronger guy than Garcia, or so it would seem, at least. At least he's a bigger guy, maybe not a stronger guy. But, the way that he was real hesitant, trying to be so defensive, I think started to get the ire of a lot of the fans out there in the arena.
So we all scored it pretty similar, didn't we? Like 9-3, 10-2, all around that.
Yeah, I give him 2 rounds. Like, you could push it at 3 if you give him the first, which was kind of a swing round.
Yeah.
But
incidentally, I thought the judges were actually being pretty generous to Broner. It's like they were just giving him credit for doing a little bit better in the later rounds, trying to steal it than he had done in the early rounds where he did fuck all.
Yeah. But what does Mikey do?
Mikey's got options.
He's got. I think
he's got to go back down again. Yeah, go back to 35.
I'd say fight Linares, man. Get that Linares fight. Get the lineal championship, the ring championship, and that's, I guess, because Linares Campbell just got made. But I mean, hey, fight the winner of that, and I think that's a good way to go.
You don't have to say fight the winner of that. You can just say fight Linares. You don't have to say fight the winner of that. Like,
come on, bro. Why not supporting my boy Cool Hand Luke?
He's gonna get fucking dissected, isn't he?
Rep your flag, Leon.
I can't be. Yeah, no.
It doesn't reach to who?
Sexy.
Does the flag not reach to who? No.
Yeah, but Linares is too. He's a god among men, isn't he? So we've all got to back that team. We're all on that team, really.
That is true. What about you, Naoto? Do you think he goes back to? Well, he should go back to 35.
I'd say so. I mean, at the moment, the belts are kind of tied up at 140 until further notice. So, stay busy and get yourself some big recognition. That's a big name. Get yourself that lineal title to prove once and for all, like, I am the man at lightweight, period, point blank. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to go through me to get the props at lightweight, And then if he does decide to go back to 140 after that, then it's a solid move. But I mean, otherwise, I'd say the money is there, the names are there, the critical acclaim is there. So, I'd say go do that. I'd say wait until the money is too big to ignore at like a welterweight, to bother taking that risk. Wait until it's that Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard-esque thing where it's like there's only one guy at welterweight and you're the guy at lightweight and light welterweight to move up and fight that one guy at welterweight who is the man, period, end of story. And that's the way that I think he should approach it.
No, I agree. I think 135, and if he maybe clears that out, and come back to 40.
let welterweight clear itself out and then fight the man at that point.
Because we all know, like, muscles and everything is not the biggest concern in boxing, but I didn't think body type wise he looked great at 40 on Saturday. Like, he looked fleshy throughout like fight week as well. Like, his body didn't look good.
Yeah. It looks like it's an easy weight for him to make. It looks, because I remember like going back to some of his fight night weights when he was at active before, he would weigh in like the low to mid 140s. So to me, 140 is probably a very easy weight for him to make. He probably just skips a meal, doesn't eat breakfast, takes a dump, and he makes weight. There you go.
But at least at 35, his powers are going to be a bit better because. Broner's got a decent chin, but he wasn't really buzzed at any point.
But he didn't have a chance to really...
I did think he was. I think it was in the second round. He caught him with a good right hand, and Broner had that look about him oh shit, I don't want to get hit with that again. You know what I mean? But otherwise, I mean, I think in a way he kind of saw the punches coming a bit more, and that kind of helped, and maybe took a little bit off of with the gloves as well. But yeah, Mikey isn't just that one shot KO artist at 140. Necessarily, at least not.
I don't know. I think he hurts people because the problem with the Broner fight is that he didn't have the opportunity to land clean on him.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Broner's got a good chin. Broner's got a good chin. I mean, even against Maidana, large. Primarily where Broner gets hurt is high on the head, and if you notice when he was putting that high guard up, what was he protecting? He was protecting his temples and his forehead. He wasn't really protecting his face. So, if anything, that's a spot where you got to hit him to hurt him.
Yeah, well, I just think that he will hurt someone who's willing to exchange with him at 140. So I think he could definitely really hurt someone doing that. Because Broner was in survival mode. I think if you got caught in between punching by Mikey at 140, you lights out, I think.
I think at 130 and 135 was he could hurt you whenever he pleased. At 140, it's he needs just that right opportunity.
It does seem heavy-handed, man. Because when he was catching him even on the gloves and the arms, you could hear the weight in the shots come across on the TV. And I was just really impressed with the double jab and then that kind of short right hand to the body. That punch and that combination was working well. The left hook to the body was nice. But, yeah, man, overall, really impressed with Mikey.
But I just think that, that body shape thing, Cam, I don't have a problem with that body weight in boxing, that body shape in boxing, because it wasn't like he had a layer of fat on him. He wasn't defined. He was just he wasn't he didn't have any rolls on him, did he?
Yeah.
But those people have got engines on them on a we've been proven so many times that guys who look like that can usually go 15 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys got anything else to say about this fight?
Not particularly. I'd imagine now where Broner goes for him, I think maybe a crossroads fight against somebody like Danny Garcia or Victor Ortiz who just came back might be pretty fun to watch. Good build-up. Or, I mean, if they were to toss him in there and sacrifice him to the Wolves and get Errol Spence's name up there popping even more than it already is, a highlight reel knockout over Adrien Broner, Mr. World Star, get a World Star knockout over him, I think would be a big boon to Spence's career.
Leon, what did you think about his post-fight? You kind of started off humble.
Didn't see him.
Okay, so you started.
Oh yeah, I think it was contrived. Go ahead and explain it though, Cam.
Yeah, Leon, you kind of started off humble, giving Garcia's props a bit, and then Jim Gray kind of, I can't remember what he said to him, but then he kind of switched on him and said, like, fuck it, man, like, people came here to see me, I'll always sell, you know what I mean, I may beat it, you know, you went into that kind of bullshit, and it's just like, that's not going to last forever, man. Like, once you start putting on those type of performances where it looks like you're not even trying and you're just happy to lose on points, your fans will stop coming to the fights, you know,
the most important fan groups in boxing are the people who dislike you. And I've seen you lose 3 times, so it's wearing off, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And he was in that post-fight interview. He was trying to re-engage that, basically. Like, oh no, I'm still the villain, you know.
You ain't Floyd.
I'm still the bad guy. Like, nah, you're really not that villain.
He even said
you're you're that low-level villain that like never gets shit right, basically. That's never capable of actually robbing the bank. And is very easily caught by that.
You die first.
You're not the Joker. You're not, you know, Mr. What's that dude? Something Freeze or whatever. Yeah, you're not Two-Face. You're not the headlining villain anymore. That ain't you.
Yeah, you die first.
Yeah, he even said it. He goes, I think I'm still the can man, and I was like, no, you're not. You're the count man these days. But yeah.
I mean, I think the biggest thing to take away from this fight is that Garcia didn't get out of second gear to win this fight. So, I mean, that's just that he's got to be a bit embarrassed. He looked embarrassed in the corner in between rounds, I thought.
Yeah, like he was getting a bollocking, and he just seemed like he just
dead behind the eyes.
Yeah, he was just a deer in headlights. He was like, oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah. Don't know what to do. They were just bollock. I say it week after week. I hate like too many voices in the corner, man. Should be just one guy talking, giving instructions. But his corners are always.
But I mean, that shows you the panic of the corner. You know, they could tell that he was getting shut out, and so then all of them start freaking out at that point because I mean he's their meal ticket.
Look, the other thing is this is his third loss and his worst loss, so it's got worse, hasn't it? Every loss has got gradually worse.
Now he lost to a smaller guy instead of a bigger guy, so you can't use any well if he gets down, you know, that excuse is invalid now. So, and this was the worst one too because it was the most conclusive.
He's special though.
He didn't drop Mikey late like he did against Porter. He didn't show, you know, he wasn't able to, you know, land those body shots that actually slowed Maidana down against Maidana. He just got schooled. He just got technically outclassed, outboxed, and, you know, he just couldn't deal with what Garcia had to offer.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Might as well.
Let's talk about Jermall Charlo fighting a one-legged man.
Oh, but hey, he's the new man. You know, he just that wasn't a one-legged man, Cam. You know, he hit Heiland so hard, he injured his leg, and then Heiland was just hobbling around the ring the rest of the way.
Jamal's got something to say.
Bring on the biggest names at 160. I'm Vernon Forrest reincarnated. I'm the real Tommy Hearns. Yeah. I'm the new Sugar Ray Leonard at 160. I feel like it's my turn, and I'm going to go get it.
See, if you make that statement after, like, beating up the boss in the division or, you know, the high-level guy there, then fair enough. But you beat up a guy that was basically injured going into the fight, and he was crippled, man. He offered nothing.
Jorge Heiland's leg was so bad, and his footwork was so terrible, that if somebody on the street was walking down the sidewalk like that, I'd be like, "Hey man, are you all right?" You know, not even just in boxing terms, but just in regular person terms. You know, if somebody was just walking down the street, I'd be like, "Hey, what happened to you? You get hit by a car or some shit?" Because that's what it looked like. And I mean, hey, Ronnie Shields. Apparently, they had a whole knee brace on this guy before, and Ronnie Shields got the commission to make them take it off, which is kind of bullshit. And it's unfortunate because Jermall Charlo, I think, is still a legit high-level fighter, you know, even at middleweight, a high-level fighter, contender, and you know, it kind of looks bad on him to just kind of be beaten up on a guy that was basically injured going into the fight and took the fight because he was making a couple $100,000 and he wasn't going to turn it down. Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure, Neota, but I think having anything on your knee goes against the New York Boxing Commission's rules because I think something similar happened when Cotto fought.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, Sergio, because I think he had something on his knee and they made him take it off.
Well, he wound up going in there, I think, with sleeves on his knees, but not like a full brace, like a full plastic one. I guess like maybe like you can't have plastic on it, but it could be like neoprene or something like that, like some sort of fabric.
Yeah, But yeah, Leon, what a farce.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That comment is. I don't know what to say about that really, but I mean, that guy's injured so badly he'd probably only just beat Paul Smith. That's the issue here. He was fucked, wasn't he? Yeah. And I feel sorry for that Heiland guy because I feel like he was a reasonable name 18 months ago, 2 years ago. And it's just, you're a small level guy, you get yourself in a mandatory position, doesn't mean shit because they managed to avoid him for 2 years because he's got no one backing him up. So I feel like he left his whatever he had, back then by not fighting. So, because on paper I thought this was a good fight for Charlo, but maybe I was just kind of forgetting how long ago it was since the Ice Macklin.
Yeah.
It's just
and he kind of got fucked
I feel
about.
bad because I think he beat a good guy, but a good name, but the guy wasn't fit. So
he kind of got fucked about after that Macklin fight. I think he was kind of mandatory or close to mandatory to Cotto, and then like Cotto was messing about, and then he dropped the belt.
Yeah, but I've heard people shitting on him. It's like you can't shit on a guy, and they're going, that people should. Why? How did he get to number one? Well, obviously he didn't get to number one like that, did he? Hobbling around, falling all over the place. So I just feel like he's been discredited, like as a bum or something. And I just feel like potentially he was, but I just don't think we ever got to see it.
Yeah,
so
it's a shame, and in a way, I understand why he's gone ahead with the fight because if he pulls out, he's not going to get no money. He's not fought for
biggest paycheck ever.
Yeah, biggest paycheck ever. Not fought for maybe I think over a year. And boxers don't get paid when they're not fighting, so it's a really difficult situation.
See, what he showed was heart because he was still throwing punches, and you could tell that he would, like on healthy legs, he would actually be probably reasonably effective with some of the punches that he was throwing. I mean, he did land a couple, albeit not leveraged at all because he had no legs under him. But I mean, you could see some of the awkwardness in there and everything. It's just that you could tell that there was something wrong with him. He wasn't physically all there. He wasn't anywhere close to 100%. He was like 15%. So at that point, the punches that Charlo was landing weren't even really hurting him. It's just that he was so off balance that he got caught, with a punch with like one leg in the air, and the shit just buckled.
Yeah, my bad. Just looking at his box rock, he did fight back home in Argentina, rematch with some dude called Veron in April. So, but still, he's only going to get pittance for that fight. This is the fight where he's going to make some major money. So, it is a bit of a shame. But should we move on?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Big Baby. Naota, Jarrell Miller versus Gerald Washington. You kind of got it spot on. You thought that he was going to slowly break him down and stopping him. That's what happened.
Yeah. I don't know if I said around, but I wound up saying around later on.
I think you said like 7 or 8. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say I figured it'd be about 7 or 8, and it wound up being 8. But hey, good props to me, I guess. But I mean, Gerald Washington at first looked like he might be able to outbox him. But the thing about Washington is he's such a finesse fighter. He's not really physical. He always has seemed kind of hesitant to get like gritty and try to physically move a guy around, even though he was a freaking ex-offensive lineman for USC, which is kind of ironic. You think that he'd be a bit more physical in there. Jarrell Miller, he's an ex-K1 champion and everything. He definitely knows how to get gritty. And even though at first Washington was kind of pounced at him a little bit, landed some good body shots here and there as well behind the jab. Miller just kind of walked him down, almost felt like a smaller man. Like even though he's a fairly big guy. But just walked him down, pressured him, and just kind of played the pressure breaks pipes game. Just broke him down, hammered him to the body, to the head, whatever was available skin-wise, and just beat him up, broke him down, broke his will, broke his heart, and stopped him. And that's all there was to it. I think it's fairly impressive given the way that he was able to do that, because a lot of people have been acting like Wilder slayed some big dragon in Gerald Washington. After the fact, even though they didn't rate Washington for shit going into that fight, I was the only one that was pretty much rating him going into that fight and felt like he could have boxed Wilder, which he did in spots a little bit early on, until Wilder landed that big boom that finally laid him out. So I mean, for what it's worth with regard to Miller, I mean, however you want to criticize his weight and everything like that, the guy has shown himself to be effective at another level. So. Maybe he'll get a title shot at some point soon. He probably won't be favored, nor should he necessarily be, because he doesn't necessarily have the body of work to completely prove it. But I do think that he has the ability there to give a lot of guys in the heavyweight division problems, because he's a very physical fighter. He does have a pretty solid amount of punch resistance, not even punch resistance, but I mean, he's been kicked in the head a bunch of times in his K1 fights and stuff, and has taken those pretty damn solidly. And, he's a bruiser. He's a bruiser. He's like a Salido of the heavyweight division. Just comes forward, pressures you, and looks to break you down, mentally waste that nervous energy. And he's proven thus far to be able to do it. So, I'm very interested in seeing where he goes from here. But that's pretty much it.
Leon, what did you think of the big, damn near 300-pound baby?
Well, I was shocked when I saw that he was weighing in at that weight. But then when I saw him in the ring, it didn't seem to...
He kind of carries it well, innit?
Kind of suits it, exactly, yeah.
It doesn't look fat. You look at him, you don't think this guy's fucking fat.
No, you just think he's a fucking unit, don't you?
Yeah, he's like
a really big guy.
He's like fucking Derek Chisora on steroids.
Yeah, he ironically, he's built like an NFL lineman. He has that same build where it's like fat. It's like he has the flab, but there's a ton of muscle underneath that. So it's not like it's not solid.
And I just think he threw a ton of punches.
Yeah, exactly. He has no stamina issues. So like what you were saying earlier about Mikey Garcia, even though he's not body beautiful, it applies in spades for Jarrell Miller. He hasn't looked gassed in a single fight that I've seen of him.
Yeah,
and that guy we saw last week. The big white Polish dude.
Oh, the heavyweight.
Yeah, he looked the same.
Well, imagine him and Miller, man. Woof.
Yeah, he was in the crowd, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, what was his name? Kowalski. I don't know. He was fun to watch, man. I thought he was good. It's just a lot of his punches, especially early on, like they're just kind of tapping punches. He's throwing lots, but there's no weight behind a lot of them. But later on, he did start to mix it up a bit. Like he'd throw like a few throwaway tapping shots, then he'd maybe load up with a right left to the body. That was very effective, and he's a bit of a wild card in the heavyweight division because such a big dude, like you can't really manhandle him around, man. He comes forward, you can't really push him off. And if you're a guy that kind of stands in front of him, then you kind of fuck, because he has got a bit of a punch on him if he does load up on his shot. So yeah, man, it's definitely exciting addition to have to the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I'd rather watch him than some of the puddings we've seen fight the top guys over the years.
Definitely.
Yeah, at the very least, he's going to put it on the line. He talks a lot of shit, but he looks to back it up. Yeah, at least attempts to back it up in every way that he can see possible. And he's got some pretty witty little quips and stuff, talking about Deontay Wilder's chicken legs and all kinds of stuff. Telling him that he needs a meal, like for 50 cents a day, you can feed Deontay Wilder, all kinds of crazy shit. It's pretty amusing. So I'm definitely interested in those type of fighters. I was a big fan of Ricardo Mayorga, and I'm a big fan of Jarrell Miller doing the same in kind.
Look, if he can take a punch, he's a nightmare for someone like Wilder, because he's such a big guy. He could manhandle him, couldn't he? If he can take the punch, because he's there to be hit.
Yeah. Wilder even isn't necessarily like the most physical of fighters either. It's primarily the fact that he has the height and leverage on guys. But for the most part, he's more of like a touch and go power puncher. He's trying to be a bit more finessed about it.
Yeah, Leon, you said he's there to be hit. I don't think he is. Like for such a big dude, like Miller's got decent head beam, and he'll kind of throw a jab, then dip to the right.
That's true. But I think Wilder's
he's craftier than you might expect on film from just kind of watching him. And I think his heft kind of belies that.
Yeah, definitely some good matchups for him there. But moving on,
loads.
Warren Arroyo wasn't televised, which is a shame, because I thought I was going to be televised. From what I read, Naota, it's pretty easy work for Rau'shee Warren. Yeah,
from what I read, it looks like it was Arroyo was at least making it competitive, but Warren was definitely winning the rounds for the most part, and he beat Arroyo by pretty much the same margins that Jordan Ancas did. And I was actually really impressed with the way that Ancas beat Arroyo, although he did also drop Arroyo. So to me, this was an IBF eliminator to get a shot at Ancas, and I think Jordan versus Rau'shee Warren is a fantastic fight to make. I think Warren looked very, very good at super flyweight. I always felt that bantamweight was a little bit too easy for him to make, so he probably slacked off in the conditioning aspect of his training. But he, apparently, I guess he didn't gas out as badly against Arroyo as he had against Payano and Zakianov. So for at least in that sense of the word, and he even said that he may move down to flyweight to try and get a belt down there. So it's almost like he's going for pound props in the reverse order. Interestingly enough, but for what is worth, him at super flyweight, I definitely rate him amongst the top 10 now. He was at the very least a top 10 bantamweight, and I definitely think he fits in extremely nicely into the super flyweight, which is the best division in boxing now. The most jam-packed, talent-ridden division in the entire sport. I do slightly favor Ankaz over him. I think that Ankaz, his speed, his power, his ability to kind of dictate distance on the outside is going to make life very difficult for Warren, and especially in the later rounds. I think that may be a bit more of a physical fight that does test Warren's endurance further, as it may have been tested at bantamweight as well. But at the same time, I'd say that technically speaking, they're fairly evenly matched. So I think that's a very intriguing fight going into it, and I'm hoping that it gets made before the year is out, because I think, especially, if they were to get it stateside, considering the fact that Ankaz was the co-feature for Pacquiao Horn on ESPN, a lot of people will manage to see him score that brutal knockout with the body shot. I think that's a good fight to toss on PBC, as a co-feature, or maybe as a headliner on Tuesday or Friday night or something of that nature.
Naota, Showtime had a YouTube broadcast where they had the Katie Taylor fight and the Miller-Washington fight. So it's a bit shame that they didn't put the Warren fight on there, but at least they're providing the fights for people to see, because it wasn't geo-locked, so I had it on before Sky went live. They went live at 1 a.m, so I managed to catch the Katie Taylor fight live, and they just went live as the Gerald Miller fight started, so at least they're providing something. But did you manage to catch the Katie Taylor fight?
Yeah, I did. I thought she looked good, as usual. I do still think, that it's one of those things where you could tell she's a high-level fighter, she's a top-level fighter. She's not truly going to get tested until she's fighting for a world championship. That's just a matter of fact, I think, at this point. She was just a high-level amateur for all those years. She's every bit as experienced as any female fighter out there, amateur or pro, and she's ready. She's ready to get it done, I'd say.
Yeah, most people know I'm high on Katie Taylor. Man, both me and Kimo are, and when you just look at her, she's just so focused, the eyes always on the target, hands low, just trying to get the opponent to shoot a jab so she can counter it. The combinations as well, like she'll throw left hook to the body, left hook to the head, right hand, and then she flip it, right hand, left hook, and then left hook, right hand. It's just nice to watch, man. And you're right, it's a shame that there's no one, that the women's boxing is so thin that she'll only really get tested if it's in a world title fight. But that's just how it is. It's going to be the same with most of these women fighters that are coming up.
Yeah.
But, shall we move on? You guys got anything else on this card? Leon, I did want to mention something to you before we move on. Going back to the Heiland fight, did you watch it with the Sky commentary or with the Showtime?
I watched the Sky commentary today. Did
you hear dazzling Darren Barker constantly
lying
reiterate that he wasn't injured when he fought Felix Sturm going into that fight?
Oh, for fuck's sake, it's embarrassing. It's all right, Darren. No one holds it against you.
That was hilarious. You have to keep
just
saying
say, though.
He said, I was injured before the fight, but I didn't go into the fight injured. It's like, whatever, Darren, man. Stop trying to...
Yeah, whatever, man.
Talking shit.
Absolute shite. And Macklin was trying to talk... He was rubbish as well, I mean, from what I heard.
Macklin's awful, man.
Yeah, they're all awful. We need to talk about Danny Jacobs scoring it for Broner. That's a bad scorecard if I've ever seen one.
Is that true? Because I've looked for that and I can't find that anywhere, man. So
I've seen it.
Have you been trolled, or
what?
Have you been trolled by someone?
No, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I watched
it. You sure it's not a fake account?
No, I've seen it. You can hear him like he's walking through the crowd and it's just as the scores are being announced, he's going, wow, they're really wide, those scorecards. I had it to Broner by 1 or 2 or something. Yeah, shocked. But then he did admit he was probably a bit biased because he wanted Broner to win. It's like a bit biased.
That's when it's your mate, innit? And you just give him every close round. I'll give it to Broner. Let's move on.
Still a terrible scorecard.
Yeah, it was a terrible scorecard. Let's move on.
Yeah.
We were all discussing the Frampton fight last week and what a debacle we had on Friday. First of all, he misses weight by a pound.
Disgusting. Terrible.
And then there was an accident apparently in the shower. And his opponent pulled out of the fight. The whole card got scrapped, man. It was just crazy. Like, if you've spent all that money going to Ireland...
Gutierrez got done by that shower like Badu Jack did James DeGale.
Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. I understand they can't really get an opponent that late, which is fine, but it's a shame for all the people that spent the money on hotels, flights. They'll probably get a refund on their fight ticket, but yeah, overall, man, it's a shame. Even the fighters on the undercard, they've missed out on the payday. They had the camps to get ready and shit, and yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, big time. As for Frampton, missing weight. The thing is, I've always said it. Frampton's not a small guy. Like, he's short, but he's not small. He was dehydrating and rehydrating every bit to make 122, and I guess even 126 it appears. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see him at 130 before it's all said and done.
Well, he said he does want to win the world title at 30, but unless there's a really weak belt holder there, I think he's going to be too small for 30.
Yeah. I think the reason why he's saying that is because he knows that his days are numbered.
Possibly.
Making the weight.
Yeah, possibly. You got any thoughts
on
this?
Trying to hide it behind, chasing glory and stuff.
You trolled me today to watch Sky Sports News for a few hours, thinking that some news about Frampton going back to Matchroom. Thank you for that, Leon.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's just there was a lot of rumours knocking about because he'd was it last week he had given up his post on the board of Cyclone Promotions and stuff. So it's just kind of, just rumour stuff,
Maybe
so
that was a financial
little bit of light
thing,
trolling.
Maybe that was a financial thing, him leaving his position on the board or something.
Yeah, maybe. I just think, the fight being cancelled because the guy fell and slipped in the shower is one thing, but missing a weight by a pound is a completely another thing. And just because we all like Carl, or people like him because he's we all like the fighters that troll Matchroom. So, he's a popular guy, but that's some bullshit. If that was a guy that people don't like, he would have got ripped to shreds. If that had been an Eddie fighter,
No, you're fair.
If it had been an Eddie card or a Warren card, people would have gone full meltdown.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But
people are defending this shit. But, look, he slipped and fell, but for a whole card to fall apart like that is pretty fucking shambolic, isn't it?
That just shows your undercard shit. Because if your undercard was half decent, the show would go on. But they, when it comes to... I went to... A couple of weeks ago, I went to Glasgow for the O'Hara Davis-Josh Taylor fight, and undercard was fucking diabolic. But fair enough, most people were there for the main event. But that is the problem. If your main event falls apart, then your whole card falls apart.
But they got lucky, didn't they? Because they had that young kid fight that Jermall guy from Belgium, and that turned into a really, really good fight.
Yeah, that's true.
But you still wouldn't have trusted that fight if if someone had something had happened, would you?
No, not to be a main, no. But yeah,
no,
that's true.
So that's the problem when they're operating down there, and that's the issue. That's where these smaller guys need to pull together and lend. And I'm sure that, and they do on a lot of cards. But Frank could have got someone out on that card, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
got to work together because that's not good for anyone,
No. Naota, afterwards, I read stuff that Cyclone are going to try and reschedule it, find another date with Gutierrez, etc. I also read an interview with Carl saying, they're going to start maybe negotiations with Selby and he's willing to travel, blah, blah, blah. Do you think we should just skip the Gutierrez fight and just have that Selby fight? Because if he's struggling with weight, then why not just, do you need a tune-up? Nah, just go in with Selby. I don't think he beat Selby, but it's the better fight to make.
Well, and the thing is, Selby is probably struggling with weight too. I mean, there's been plenty of talk about that. So he may be able to kind of catch Selby at the right time. Perhaps, both of them would have trouble making the weight, and Selby wouldn't be as effective as I think a lot of people think. And I actually think that's a closer fight than a lot of people think too. I think that Frampton, especially if he's more aggressive, could very well be able to land clean, hard shots, more eye-catching shots than Selby, where Selby would be almost a bit more like pitter-pat in comparison. But yeah, I mean, I'd say go after that, because I think pushing it and having a fight with Gutierrez, which may wind up being a tough fight, and then a fight against Gary Russell, which is what the Gutierrez fight was apparently supposed to be an eliminator for, I think may be bad news in comparison to the risk versus reward that you would get for a Lee Selby fight.
But also, it's another camp, it's another wear and tear on your body, it's another fight, wear and tear on your body. And we were talking to Brian King after the fight in Glasgow, and he's thinking, and most people kind of echo his sentiment, that Frampton's only got a couple of years left, really. And if you're gonna, if you've got a couple of years left, then you have to fight good opposition. You can't have too many kind of tune-ups and that, because you're just wasting a fight, in my opinion. Yeah,
maximize the opportunities.
You're wasting your body, aren't you? And at the end, it goes quickly, so you can't be mucking around. And that's like, if you become a two fights a year fighter when you're getting older, no one has an issue with that. Like, if you're putting in the work, he could have another 4 fights over the next 2 years, and I think he'd have earned it, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Alright, let's move on. What else did we have this weekend? Really quiet, to be honest. I did catch the Zou Shiming fight, Naoto. I assume you did also?
Oh, yes, I did. Went in there against a pretty heavy underdog in Sho Kimura. You know, I mentioned the fact that Zou Shiming may be having some issues, considering the fact that he was like promoting, managing, accounting, and doing all the paperwork and stuff.
He was
for
selling the tickets
event.
as well.
Yeah, probably. He was selling them online, trying to keep track of the expenses versus the sales and everything. I guess it did pretty well, because from the looks of the arena and the ratings and everything, there was a lot of people that watched that fight. So, you know, he's always been a star in China ever since his first Olympics back in 2004. Even when he didn't win gold, he only got the bronze in that one. And I actually thought he was doing really well against Sho Kimura. I actually had it 7 rounds to 3 for Zou up until the stoppage. But the thing is, Kimura, you know, he just pressured him, almost did like what kind of Jarrell Miller did against Gerald Washington. Just pressured him, hit the body, targeted the body like nobody's business. Most of his headshots were missing early on, especially. I think by about the 5th or the 6th round, some of that body work started to kind of really, truly pay dividends, because he was landing it a bit more clearly. And Zou Shiming started fighting with his hands down. I think because of that, you know, it was starting to tire him out, along with all the footwork that Shiming was doing, and, you know, the clean punches that he was landing. Although, you know, it did help him draw some counters out, and, you know, he was kind of styling on Kimura in about the 8th and the 9th round. I guess turned out to be kind of the last gasp for Zou Shiming, because when Sho Kimura finally kind of pinned him up against the ropes and then dropped him, it didn't even necessarily look entirely like Zou Shiming was really rocked and hurt by the punch, but that he was just a spent force conditioning and stamina-wise. And, I mean, it may have been a combination of possibly not training as hard as he could. I mean, flyweight has always been easy for him to make. The guy was a light flyweight his entire amateur career, all the way up into his 30s. And perhaps he was able to slack off a little bit on the conditioning, and that bit him in the ass. And on top of the fact that Sho Kimura was just a constant pressuring force. He trained in Thailand for this fight, incidentally. You know, he had the kind of the yellow and red M150 Thai colors. And, you know, he fought like a fighter from Thailand, even though he's from Japan. In this fight, and that worked very well for him. And now he's another titleist, and Japan now holds 3 of the 4 belts at flyweight. They're just fucking sweeping and taking over, and I think this is now the 12th world champion of theirs. So they rank right behind the U.S. in that regard.
Yeah, I definitely thought Kimura just made him work throughout the whole fight. The pressure, the volume. Early on, he was missing he was just really loading up on the left hook, missing pretty badly. And I really hate Zou's style, man. I hate that kind of tip-tap move, run away. And he was running, man. A lot of the fights, he was like, he'll throw 2 shots and he'll go to the other side of the ring. And it was a big fucking ring as well.
Old school amateur style.
Yeah, horrible to watch sometimes, though. It's quite frustrating. Like, to fight that type of guy, it must be. It's like Chinese water torture, man. It's like tap, tap, tap. Man. Seriously, man. It's fucking annoying. But as you say, I think the bodywork and a combination of him, the pace of the fight, he started to slow down. His feet slowed which made him get caught more, which made him slow more, which made him get caught more, and it was a snowball effect, and he was pinned up against the ropes, and Kimura caught him with some nice shots, dropped him. I thought the ref was going to maybe let him continue, but he must have seen in his eyes that Zou was done, and he stopped it. And pretty good win, man. I think he's a big underdog, and but he showed a lot of heart, man. He didn't get frustrated with all the tippy-tappy punches and kind of chasing him around the ring. And props to Kimura, I thought.
Yeah. The odds were really wide at first, and then they started to close up when people found out that Zou Shiming was apparently training himself. Like, he was doing the Beirut Shumanov versus Bernard Hopkins, and I guess he just had a yes man in the corner for him. But yeah, props to Sho Kimura, managed to take advantage of a great opportunity, get himself a belt. Zou Shiming, to me, like, I'd say he should drop down to 108 and try and win there, because I think that he could definitely extend his career much longer there. Even though he's 36 and has 300-400 amateur fights behind him, he's still pretty fresh, generally speaking. And I'd say that he could probably still make 108 just like he did in the amateurs with the same day weigh-ins. But as he said on Boxing Scene today, I guess, he said he's going to fight, quote, fight until his last breath to recover the belt that he lost. So who knows? Maybe he has a rematch clause. Maybe he can get a run back in there against Kimura. Or maybe if Kimura happens to lose that belt against somebody else, he'll wind up fighting that guy. But still, let's see what the future has in store for both of these guys. Because I'd imagine that rematch will be fairly likely to happen, considering the amount of people that watch this.
Leon, yesterday was the return after a short while of vicious Victor Ortiz, man. I know you were watching it before we went live. Not much to watch, but you looked all right, man, against a relatively poor opposition. Yeah,
I mean, it was a nothing fight, but like we were saying before, he's a waste of a talent, because he still looks so good.
Yeah,
when he's coming forward, being aggressive, and he's just it's just not there in the head, is he? Because he's got everything else you want.
Yeah, you can't trust him in it. Like, if you put him into a fight with a decent opposition, in the back of your mind, you're gonna think, like, after a while, will he just kind of decide that that's enough and quit, or you just can't put any trust into that guy.
Exactly. If he could just have a slightly, either a slightly better chin or just a bit more heart, he could still be a real problem for people. But yeah, so I don't think there's much to say about that fight. But the other fight I watched is that Nathaniel Gilmore versus Justin De La Roche.
De La Roche versus Gallimore.
Yeah. That was a good fight.
Yeah, it was real good. De La Roche was like a heavily hyped prospect going into that fight, and he was
getting banjoed.
He got exposed, man. He was looking pretty good and sharp at first, and then boom, like as soon as that power hit him by Gallimore. It was the beginning.
And Gallimore just trolled him for the rest of the fight, didn't he? With pulling faces and stuff. It's out there, it's up and about, and it's only it's like 25 minutes. It's worth watching. It's not high level stuff, but it's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
They're both going for it.
Two guys that are kind of prospects looking to rise. De La Roche was definitely the more favored guy, and Gallimore already had a loss a couple years back, but maybe he learned from that, and he definitely learned how to lay somebody out. And then, getting back to the Ortiz, it's hard to trust him, man. He has all the physical tools, all the physical gifts and everything. But, people talk about Adrien Broner being a waste of talent. I'd say Victor Ortiz is a much bigger waste of talent, And there's even bigger waste of talent that I could mention, but just sticking with Ortiz, it's one of those things where you could tell, like, he has a shot versus just about anybody out there in the physical sense. But the mentality and the psychology of that guy is just brittle. It's brittle. It's as easily broken as it is hard.
The shot that he banjoed this guy with, didn't he? Like, sent him with his legs, did a George Groves and stuff. That was a beautiful shot, If he just had the stomach for it, he's so good coming forward, isn't he? Like, getting on the inside, getting close, and then the overhand shots. He's a good fighter, but he's just not got it. He's not special.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jack Reese, but I think he should have stopped the fight after that first knockdown.
Oh yeah.
Corral.
Yeah, because I remember that. I remember this dude that he was fighting, Corral, actually gave Saddam Ali a lot of problems a couple of fights ago. Even though the judges scored it crazy wide for him, and he actually got dropped by Ali, I thought he gave him hell the entire fight.
We forgot to talk about when they stopped the how do I pronounce that surname of that guy again? Justin
Deloach.
Like he, at the end of the round, he was taking some massive shots, and he went back to the corner and just fell off his stool. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Just fell off his stool, and then they called the fight off. Man, it was pretty weird.
I need to watch.
I nearly fell out of the ring.
I did see there's a copy in Daily Motion, but I just didn't get around to watching it. So
watch it.
Yeah, man, he was done.
But to fall off your chair is pretty nuts, isn't it?
Yep.
All right, that's about...
I guess I'll mention on that card too, because I'm not sure if you guys got a chance to see it. Adam Lopez 8-0 defeated another undefeated prospect, featherweight Paul Romero. So it was a good win for him. Solid skills being shown for both. You could tell that they were both prospects and everything, and Lopez just managed to kind of cinch it. And then Carlos Balderas, a guy that we talked about heavily last year on the Olympics podcast that we did, scored another first-round knockout. Just completely blitzed this guy, Eder Fajardo, and took care of business. And, I mean, him and Teofimo Lopez, I think, are pretty much like the two brightest new prospects in the sport of boxing. And funny enough, they're in the exact same weight class, right there at lightweight. And so there is potential super fight prospects out there for those two if they do what I think they're capable of, because I think both of those guys are serious problems for anybody at lightweight. I think they could get rushed towards title shots within like the next year or so, because I think that they're both goddamn good.
Was that on the Fox telecast, or did they just show a bit of that during?
No, I saw that. It's up, Cam, in that other place I was talking to you about on Daily Motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's up there. He stopped him with a body shot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Left hook to the body. Really good. Really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to cough a lot, so I'm going to beat myself.
Yeah, he's just a solid, great fighter. He really got robbed in the Olympics, and should have won a gold medal. He would have won a gold medal had he not gotten robbed a couple of fights before that, because he whooped that cat's ass that he was fighting.
Naota, should we move on?
Yeah.
I haven't really got any news I want to talk about. The only thing is, if Leon's maybe finished coughing, is just the Hughie Fury. It wasn't 100% officially announced, but I did see things about the fight with Parker being on ITV box office, and then looking at BoxRec, it does say that, television, it's ITV box office.
Who's buying that? Really?
Not many people.
No, they're just fucking. What do you make of these Furies? I mean, it's just a shambles, isn't it? Everything's a shambles. It never runs smoothly. It's boring, man.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to live off Tyson's name and think, oh, Fury's all right. That's the boxing family, and it's like I like Parker, but first time pay-per-view over here against Fury. And not the Fury that people know, and it's a joke.
Not a good look. It's just not a good look. I think charging money for that, pay-per-view for that is ridiculous. If it had been on ITV, normal channel, everyone would have been over the moon, wouldn't they? Good fight for free, but I'm not paying for this shit.
Yep. Leon, who's head of ITV Sports these days, because they need to get their head examined, man. It's like, the Eubank Abe, it's not a great fight, but okay. The fight before that, I don't think it should have been on pay-per-view. The Eubank's previous opponent, the Australian dude, I can't remember his name. And this Fury Parker fight, they're just trying to eat off the success, a heavyweight division has had in the last couple of years, especially with AJ, but you can't just fucking jump into the water straight away and into the deep end. You have to kind of build the people up, like put Fury onto a free, ITV4 or ITV1, 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. Make people see him, get interested in him, then try and sell it. Just don't say, oh yeah, we're having a pay-per-view next week or next month or whatever, and we're gonna, it's crazy, man. The business model is terrible.
It's mad. Look, the Eubank name sells. It's got heritage over here. It's a big, big name, and it's a big brand, and the character sells, right? I mean, the Furies, he was never mainstream like Senior, so that name doesn't carry the same power, so you need to build it up, like I said.
Yeah, and just quickly, Tyson retired again for the 6th time, as Shams 1000 telling us in the chat, and yeah, I did see that tweet, but I just don't pay any notice to him anymore. He's just a boy that cry wolf.
Yeah, rubbish.
Naota, I think you want to go back to talking about Saddam Ali, Johan Perez, that fight that was also on the weekend.
Yeah. It was a Golden Boy card on ESPN. Same night as the big Garcia Broner card, so it kind of got overlooked. But Ali versus Perez was a very close fight. I think Ali just quite hasn't been the same since Jesse Vargas knocked him out. Johan Perez is a fairly difficult opponent, though. It's a fairly well matched fight in terms of like evenly matchedness. If that's a word. But Perez had given, some problems to Mauricio Herrera before. He was the first man to defeat Yoshihiro Kamagai, beating him pretty handily. And I think he was giving Ali some pretty damn solid work. I thought the judges scored it a bit too wide for Ali, giving him more benefit of the doubt than he really deserved. But Ali managed to eventually kind of gut it out, in spite of the fact that Perez was able to outbox him on the inside a bit more. So it was just a battle of range, basically, and Ali tended to win that battle of distance more often than he lost it. And the co-feature to that fight actually was Eddie Gomez, a guy that was a pretty high-rising prospect a few years ago. I remember seeing him on, I think it was Unimas, when he was like 17 years old, and he was just laying cats out, like just knocking them out. And I'm like, oh shit, this guy's going to be a problem in a couple of years. But seems like as he's become more of an adult, it's like he's regressed, and he lost to Chia Santana, Francisco Santana, got blitzed this past year against Rashidi Ellis in the first round, and lost against another kind of big underdog in Alejandro Barrera. Barrera was this guy that kind of came in unheralded. Seems like one of these guys that hasn't necessarily had the best management. He hasn't fought since 2015 in November, when Errol Spence knocked him out in the 5th round. So, you could just tell that, that management-wise, they probably just thought, hey, we get a payday against Errol Spence, go in there, and, he got knocked out. But here against Eddie Gomez, he gave him absolute hell, exposed the flaws that Gomez has always kind of had in terms of kind of leaving himself open as he's trying to attack, and even leaving himself open without attacking. It's almost like he's thinking about attacking, but he doesn't quite pull the trigger on it. And Barrera was able to expose that and get a split decision over him that I thought actually was really a bit more of like deserving of a unanimous decision for Barrera. And so, a bit of a spoiling upset for him. And I'd be willing to bet we'll see Barrera against some of these other prospects on the rise, and hopefully they'll do better than Eddie Gomez did. As for Gomez, it's not looking too good for him. Former prospect looked like he may be getting turned into a journeyman at some point soon.
I think after a few losses, especially your first loss, you start to take a bit more risks in your matchmaking, and then sometimes it just doesn't go your way. You're just outclassed by your opponents. But
yeah,
you guys got anything else you want to talk about? Either fights that happened or any news? I thought it was pretty quiet in the news really this week. Not much stuff got announced really.
Yeah, not a whole lot. You have some fake news about people being willing to make Garcia Lomachenko from Top Rank, which is bullshit, because Garcia will be the fucking end of Lomachenko and all that garbage, pound for pound bullshit fucking hype that he never fucking deserved in the first goddamn place. But
calm down. Fuck's sake, not this again.
Oh my god, man. Anytime his name's mentioned, you turn into a psychopath.
But yeah, there was that. And then, I guess some news about the upcoming weekend, but, we can get to that, I guess. But hey, Paulie Malignaggi McGregor has gained Malignaggi's respect. So, that's big news. That's big news, of course, in the sport of boxing. Just the biggest news possible, obviously, because, Floyd Mayweather, all he does is run, and he doesn't actually fight. He doesn't know how to actually fight. He just knows how to box and hold.
It's funny you mentioned that. I did watch the All Access.
Yeah, so no news, Cam.
Let me just talk about All Access 1 second. It was pretty terrible. It's basically just following them around the tour that they did for the press conference. So, LA, New York. I think they went to Canada and London. But it's fucking all just... It's just... We've seen it all before, man. It kind of gets a bit tiring after a bit. So, yeah, we'll move on. You got anything, Leon, or should we just preview next week?
Preview and move on. Yep.
Pretty quiet, Leon. Mainly Naota's favourite fighter, whose name I shouldn't mention in case he goes crazy again. But on the Friday, we have a pretty shitty fight between Soto Karass versus Mauricio Herrera. This is truly the battle of the bums now. These guys should just retire, man. Like, no one wants to see this shit.
Nothing to say on that fight, really.
Battle of the alcoholics. Battle of the alcoholics. And I say that with all due respect to Herrera and Soto Corrales, because everybody knows that I've definitely given them their just props in the past. But Herrera, it seems like he's definitely just fighting for money at this point. He pretty much has been phoning it in for a couple of years now. Soto Corrales, I'm not really sure how much he has left after the 2 fights with Kamagai. The first fight was, an absolute brutal slugfest, fight of the year-esque war. Really fun fight to watch. But the second fight, Kamagai just trashed him, outboxed him and beat the crap out of him. So not sure how much he has left, but I'd imagine, physically speaking, it'll probably be more than enough to handle Herrera, who, just like I said, seems to be just kind of going through the motions and isn't the most physical fighter of guys. He's more of a finesse guy that probably really belongs at 140, whereas Soto Corrales has been 147/154 guy his entire career. So I'd favor Soto Corrales in that.
Vasilev Shabransky's back against an undefeated dude, but I've not really seen him before. Todd Unthank May, 10-0 on 4 KOs, so that'll probably be the co-main. Moving on to I think it is also on Thursday. The Claressa Shields fight against Nikki Adler is on Thursday. It's on the 4th.
Yeah, first world title fight for Claressa Shields for the WBC super middleweight title for the females and the IBF as well.
Yeah, the vacant IBF. Yeah, Adler's got the WBC. She's from Germany, and the vacant IBF is up. But I watched a bit of Adler on YouTube. Nailed man, she's not that good.
Yeah, she's not on Shields' level. She's like an endurance fighter. She's kind of managed to tire her opponents out before she gets tired. Not especially sharp, not an especially high amount of power. I think that Shields will be able to just kind of manhandle her, or woman handler, so to speak, and get herself some belts. And hey, she'll have that world title that I felt like she pretty much was always ready for, even just coming straight out the Olympics. Probably even since she was like 17 when she won her first gold. But yeah, she's ready for it, and I think she'll get it. And hopefully, for her sake, she'll be able to get a bit better promotion than she's gotten heretofore.
That's on Friday the 4th on Showtime Extreme. Anything decent on the undercard? I know Showtime Extreme normally hook us up with decent competitive fights, Nikki.
Yeah, I'm actually taking a look at it right now. We got this guy, Vladimir Tikhonov, super bantamweight prospect, looks like 16-0 with 9 knockouts versus Jesse Angel Hernandez. Not quite familiar with the two of them. Hernandez is 8-1 though, so another fairly well-matched fight. Like almost akin to some of these PBC fights, like the Gallimore-Deloach fight we covered just now. But other than that, it seems like the other fights are kind of squash matches. Guys that are undefeated or maybe have one loss against guys that have like losing records. So mostly a build-up card, and then Shields is definitely the headliner for sure. Right there in Michigan, so Detroit. She's repping the city, and hopefully she'll get some fan base on her side.
Yep. Leon, Virginder Singh, I read a couple of weeks ago that he kind of left Warren and he was doing his own thing, but then I read something else that he's kind of back with Warren. Don't know in what context, if it's just a kind of television deal or a full promotional deal, but he's fighting in India on Saturday against an undefeated dude whose name I cannot pronounce, man. That name is crazy, man. He's a Chinese dude, super middleweight southpaw, 8-0, 1 draw, 6 knockouts. I'm not sure if Box Nation have picked it up though. I'll have to check their website to see if they got this fight. I don't think they have, because I did check it yesterday.
Haven't noticed it, but yeah, I don't know what to say about that really either.
That's fine.
Like that and the Claressa Shields, yeah, woof, fucking killer week.
You're just a hater. But let's talk about the name that Naota doesn't want to hear. Lomachenko fighting on Saturday. Leon, ESPN, as Bob's took his stable of fighters over to ESPN, so you get to hear bugs on the windshield, water in the basement, all that good shit, Leon.
Hasn't he been sectioned?
Setting the table for the picnic.
He should have been sectioned after the Pacquiao fight, shouldn't he? Anyway,
yeah, he was terrible.
Put him in a fucking padded room.
It was awful. Yeah. But what do you think of the fight, Leon? Lomachenko Marriaga. I was really impressed with Marriaga against Oscar Valdez. He wasn't as good against.
He did very well.
He wasn't as good against the Axeman, but against Valdez he was really good.
Yeah, he was really good, but I don't think he'll challenge Lomachenko too much. I don't expect him to win quite convincingly. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that he's having to drag someone up. But I mean, and there seems to be multiple kind of. I hear different sides to the story, but you know, people have turned down money. Supposedly, that's what you hear from one side. But you know, so they're saying that this is the only guy who's willing to take the fight. So. But then you hear others. But you hear now the side. But you know, I think the common consensus I see out there is that people have turned down the fight. So I mean, but that doesn't really matter. We have this fight, and it's just. I think it'd be an easy win for Lomachenko, and hopefully they stump up the money, or people accept next time. Whoever's fault it is, they accept it. You know. And get that Beltran fight done or whatever, and yeah, he can move on. But I think it seems it's just a kind of passing in time kind of fight.
Get that Beltran fight? You mean the Salido fight?
Yeah, or Salido, or who's the other guy who just fought Mura?
Oh,
Berchelt.
Corrales or
Berchelt, you like get that fight done. I think he wins that fight, but you know,
isn't Berchelt maybe out for the rest of the year now? What does it say? He had the injury.
Oh, is he? I didn't know, but yeah, it's just those guys. It's the guys that now wants to see him fight. We all want to see him fight those guys.
The guys that everybody should want to see him fight because they're the top guys in the division. Fight the top guys in your division rather than a guy moving up
he couldn't
weight easily in the first fucking place.
But at this time, he couldn't have fought them because they've just fought. So look, the next fight has to be these guys. And whoever it is, I don't know whose fault it is, either side. They've both got to come to an agreement and sort it out. Because then, if he does beat these guys, like I think he will, Nicky will have to say, well, he beat the guys. And then we can move on. And that's all. That's what he wants. That's what we want.
No, fuck that.
Rather than arguing all the fucking time over it, was just fucking fight the guy.
No, man. Nicky will still
beat this guy now and then move on.
Nicky will still make some excuses afterwards. After Loma schools them all.
Yeah, but then we can just say it's a proper meltdown and he's lost his mind.
That is true. Actually, we can do that.
No, but for what it's worth, though, like even though Miguel Marriaga pretty much doesn't deserve a title shot at a higher weight, no less, after dropping the decision to Oscar Valdez, even though I'd still say that he's reasonably should be mentioned as a title shot opportunist at 126, not so much at 130. In spite of that, I actually think that at the very least, Marriaga's a live fighter. He's a live.
I think he is. Yeah.
Lomachenko, because of the fact that not only because of his fighting style, because he is a hard puncher, because he has a solid chin, has a brilliant knockout ratio behind him, but because of the fact that in a way, like almost like Floyd Mayweather with Marcos Maidana, he has that don't give a shit attitude. He doesn't care about Lomachenko's reputation or his pound for pound rating or any of that, or at least I assume that he doesn't. I get the feeling that he doesn't because of the way that he's fought other fighters that have been more highly regarded and highly ranked, like Walters, Valdez, etc., in comparison to himself. So I expect him to go in there, give it his all. Lomachenko will probably just be a little bit too quick for him, too quick on the first step, too quick on the last step. But I think that Marriaga at least put up a fight, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more of a 9-3-esque fight for Lomachenko. Might drop a couple of rounds to Marriaga, being able to kind of hit him with a couple of the shots here and there that Lomachenko doesn't expect him to be throwing as he's doing his footwork, and he's not throwing punches in return. He's just kind of trying to razzle-dazzle with footwork, but not necessarily getting the work in there as well. But, the thing is, the judges, they love to give Lomachenko rounds, even if he doesn't deserve them. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see a shutout, even if he doesn't actually fucking deserve it. So, there it is.
Yeah, I think Marriaga coming up to 30 is a bit of a cherry pick, but he's tough, man, and unfortunately I still think it's going to be easy for Lomachenko. His style kind of is very similar to kind of Jason Sosa, come forward, throw lots of shots, and Sosa just got creamed by Lomachenko. It was just really easy, and
I think he's better than Sosa, though.
He probably is. Actually, Marriaga versus Sosa is like a fucking fight of the year candidate, man.
Yeah, I think he would knock Sosa out, though. I think his chin is too strong and he hits too hard. Even his jab is really powerful. So I think unless you have a good amount of agility about you and you're able to kind of keep him from landing that jab altogether, he's going to be a big problem.
But I think people have been a bit unfair on Marriaga, and kind of he's somehow falling into some kind of bum status. Like, this is a really, really
no, that's
good...
stupid. That's people that don't know shit about fucking boxing and just look at a fucking box rec to judge a fighter without actually watching his goddamn past fights. Fucking morons.
But, so my point is, I'm saying, and most are saying that Lomachenko, we believe, is that good that he outclasses this guy who's coming up, but that guy is still a really good guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I don't think it's a bum fight like that.
If I see Lomachenko legit shut Marriaga out, that's solid work. And job well done for him.
Oh shit, are you going to say that on Monday if that happens?
Yeah, man, I respect Marriaga. So, I mean, hey, if Lomachenko is able to kind of do what Valdez couldn't, even though Valdez is a guy at a lighter weight, I still think that he deserves the props for it.
Yeah, if that happens, that's going to be a soundbite in the next outro. You giving Lomachenko praise, man. I need to listen to that every week.
I may have to
I'm telling you now.
The pod then.
Yeah, people, their viewing figures have just gone up, haven't they? People are like just tuning in, going, "Please school him."
Exactly. But no, I agree, man. Marriaga is good, man. Against Valdez, his gauge of distance is excellent. He takes little half steps forward, so he's always just in range for his shots to land. He throws a lot. His tempo was really good. His gas tank is decent. He did get dropped against Valdez. I think he was in the 10th. But go watch that fight. There's a bit
took so many shots before he got dropped.
No, he did
so many fucking shots.
On all the pods I've listened to, with giving him more credit than anything else anyone
honestly,
said.
he was
giving
Walters a hell of a fight. Walters didn't even make weight for that fight, and fucking Marriaga rocked him several times in it. So I mean, that fight was scored way too wide for Walters, as a matter of fact.
I agree.
It was easy work for him.
Yeah,
I like it was easy work for him. That was like an 8-4 type fight between the two of them.
But
a lot of negativity about him out there, and I'm just thinking it's not his fault.
Now
he took the
dick
fight,
sucking
man.
Walters in that fight, basically. Because I don't know who Marriaga is, though. Fuck out of here.
But Marriaga is taking the fight, so he deserves the credit. Like, we might think that Lomachenko wins easy, or some of us do, but this guy's still a good guy at the weight below. Very good guy.
Yeah, and for the listeners, if you're bored one day this week, maybe skip the YouTube version, go to Daily Motion. It's 720p, 60 frames. Marriaga versus Oscar Valdez, man. It's a great fight, especially round 10. Go watch round 10. It's amazing.
Fight of the year candidate.
Yeah, especially
I think that's still my fight of the year.
That's like top 2, top 3, man.
It's up there, but it's not my fight of the year. But round 10 as well.
Maybe it kind of lacks the climax of some of the other fights, like in terms of like that knockout and everything. But,
Joshua Klitschko for me still, but that round 10 as well. Marriaga came out throwing loads of punches, landing loads of punches on Valdez. Valdez just throws a wild left hook, catches him, drops him, jumps on him once he gets up. And then at the end of the round, Marriaga turned the tables again and started like putting Valdez under pressure with loads of shots, man. It was just a great round, man. A great fight overall. Yeah. So anyone that says Marriaga's
I really hope Marriaga's making more than $40,000 for this fight that he made for Oscar Valdez, because I mean, fighter that fights that hard, and especially in a world title, definitely deserves it. But hey, maybe they picked him because he's very willing to take poverty wages, unlike guys that are actual top level fighters.
Yeah. Undercard wise, Naoto, not a bad co-main really. Beltran versus Vasquez.
That's a very good fight. That might be a show stealer, as a matter of fact. That's just a solid fight between those two. Beltran, he's been trying to like win the knockout of the year for like the last 3 years straight. Just laying cats out, and at least he's managed to avoid testing positive this time. Not so much against Takehiro Eo. But Brian Vasquez is a guy, he's a former champion. Only has a couple of losses. The first one was to Takashi Uchiyama in his prime. Second one was to Javier Fortuna. He managed to defeat Yayo Thompson, actually was able to stop Yayo. Beat Jose Felix Jr. He's a high-level guy, one of the higher-level guys around 130, 135. And funny enough, I think stylistically he kind of reminds me, albeit more of like a textbook style, like in an orthodox stanced version of Beltran's last opponent. What was the guy's name? Marcelo. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Brian Vasquez start fast and early and lighting Beltran up with his hand speed and his foot speed. And then for Beltran to finally eventually catch up to him with the timing, the power, and lower the boom on him. But I think Vasquez, generally speaking, he has a pretty solid chin. It took Uchiyama a while to finally break him down and stop him in the 8th. So Beltran may have a bit of a long night in store for him. But I think it's a fantastically well-matched fight between these two guys. Two of the best fighters probably in the lightweight division without title belts. Vasquez with the speed and the power, almost in like a old school De La Hoya style about him, and Beltran with just that raw crushing power, looking to time you with those big heavy shots. I think it's going to mesh for a really fun fight to watch.
Nicky, you say Vasquez is former champion. I don't remember being in it. I know he fought for a title, but I don't think he ever won a title.
I think he was an interim champ.
Yeah, WB and their bullshit interims. Yeah, so that's not a bad co-main on that. And that's about it. The rest of the card, Naoto, is anything decent on it?
Let me take a look.
Do you think it'll just be ESPN just showing the two fights, or do you think it'll have like...
Most likely, and then they'll have Top Rank TV for the undercard, as they've been kind of prone to do for the most part. I see Andy Vences out there. I'm sure some people know about him. For a number of different reasons. Undefeated prospect at super featherweight, 18-0, 10 knockouts, a bit on the come up. So I guess look out for him if you're watching the Top Rank TV portion. A couple other prospects on there, Eric De Leon, Arnold Barboza Jr. But yeah, generally this is a bit more of the on the top heavy side, as the Clarissa Shields card tended to be. But I mean, a lot of these fights, sometimes you can get a hidden gem sometimes in these like Top Rank TV cards. So, hey, if you're available, check it out.
Yeah, I just kind of shit.
Cam,
yeah,
who's got it over here?
Box Nation.
They have got it. Yeah, it didn't end up going on ESPN over there. Yeah, no. Okay, that's good. Yeah,
Box Nation got it. But yeah, I just mentioned WBA and intro, and I need to shit on WBC because I'm getting tired of them. They're becoming as bad now. Every kind of big fight, they're trying to invent a belt or give him like diamond belt or fucking Emiratis belt or what
the Huicho belt.
Seriously, man, like they're getting out of control. WBC now.
But what about, aren't they the fucking bums that have got Stavern standing in the way of Wilder fighting Ortiz?
Yeah, but that's kind of...
We should be raging about that, shouldn't we?
That's because it's their own fault for making Stavern versus Povetkin an eliminator, and then Povetkin's bum ass testing positive 20,000 fucking times in a row.
But yeah, I mean, if they stand in the way of that and strip Wilder and don't let him fight Ortiz, for fuck's sake.
They should just have Deontay Wilder versus Bermane Stavern on fucking PBC Tuesday night. Wilder doesn't even have to train for that fight. He'll knock Stavern's ass out.
Yeah, he's shot to bits, isn't he?
Easy work. Yeah, easy work. Stavern, he was never that great to begin with. I don't know why people thought he was gonna fucking knock out Wilder. Tripping on that shit.
I picked him.
Yeah, let's move on, Leon. But just going back.
You did as well, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I picked Wilder.
Fuck off. You picked Stavern.
Go back and listen, bro.
I'm going back. Was it me and Ari? No, me and Ari picked.
Yeah, you guys are bums. But just going back to WBC. Tony Bellew, one of my favourite fighters, like after he beat Mukabu, which was a legit win, and then there's rumours about him fighting David Haye, and then WBC made him, I don't know, champion in recess or Emiratis and all that, but that shit was kind of hell for people that, long-term injury or some shit like that, or those type of situations, but WBC just swinging about anywhere just to kind of make that extra money, man. It's kind of a joke. And
I don't think that anyone should be given that unless you've been a great champion.
Yeah,
you've beaten those people, then you break your leg accidentally.
Yeah, like when they did it for Vitali. When they did it for Vitali, and then he was able to come right back and fight St. Peter and dominated Peter. That it was deserved,
exactly.
And it showed that it was deserved in the end.
Yeah,
you got to be the top. I think you got to be right at the fucking very top of the game, like big ticket seller,
I just gave
champion.
Vitali credit. You can't say I hate Ukrainians.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? It's the top guys. For the people who have won shit, big tickets, like these big people who have done lots in the game, they can have that. But Bellew's fought one fight at cruiserweight, 2 fights. Do we count BJ Flores? That's not really So 1 fight.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Just
Crazy.
give a belt, and then we can stick it into that series.
Exactly.
The winner.
Yeah. Give it up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Bellew. Bellew's not interested in it after all that bullshit he spouted off. He doesn't give a fuck about that belt. You just admit it, and we can get on with it and move past it, rather than just being a prick about it.
Definitely. And that's about it from me, guys. Unless you guys got anything else you want to talk about.
I guess I'll mention Zhilei Zhang. This, still on the come up, 16-0, 12 knockouts, Olympic Chinese heavyweight. I think it was the silver medal or the bronze. I can't remember if it was the bronze or the silver that he won in 2012. Anthony Joshua beat him actually in that Olympics. But hey, he's undefeated, and this is the legit heavyweight from China. And hey, maybe where Zou Shiming may be kind of on the downslide, he'll be able to kind of take advantage and get himself some notoriety. He's actually fighting in New Jersey, though, interestingly enough.
Whatever happened to that guy, big guy, that guy called Dong?
Taishan Dong.
Taishan? Yeah, he hasn't fought in over a year or something. Who knows?
He's got one of my favourite knockouts ever when he punched a guy in the shoulder. You remember that, Cam? He punched a guy in the shoulder and he just lay down.
That was amazing. That was on ESPN. I remember that. That was some outdoor venue.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Wow. I don't know what's been going on.
He was
with
a fucking monster-sized guy, though. But
he's a freakishly big dude. He's like 7 feet, like 300 pounds of muscle or some shit. But this guy Zhang isn't that big. He's 6'6", about 250, a little bit chubby, but a much more effective boxer, technically speaking.
That big guy looked like the kind of guy that you'd slap him and you might just start crying for no reason, and then go mental.
Your hand.
Yeah. Weird dude. But quickly, Cam, we just touched on it briefly. How did Campbell get to this Linares fight? Is it voluntary?
As far as I know, it's a mandatory. I think he was in mandatory position, and they ordered.
How did he get that? He got mandatory for beating that Perez.
Yeah, I think that was the final eliminator.
Fucking ridiculous.
Well, yeah, he had the silver belt for all that time.
And he still won't go back.
After he beat Argenis Mendes, somehow he got the silver belt. So that silver belt basically means like you're a top level contender, essentially.
He'll never be the same because he didn't go back for that loss, Cam,
against Mendy. Yeah,
he needed to do that. If he'd done that and won, we'd all, I don't know. It's just had leave a better taste.
Oh, you know what? That Perez fight was an unlimited. I'm looking at the BoxRec right now. It says right here, not eligible for winning number 1 ranking. Yeah. Mental.
But Eddie gets his guys to positions, doesn't he?
But even that's some bullshit though, because who's the champ at 135? It's Linares is WBC. What was he, Emiratus or whatever, Diamond? And then Mikey's still got it. So really, should he not be fighting Mikey?
Yeah, but that'd be even worse.
That's what I'm saying about WBC, man. You can't keep up with him.
Oh, it's also frustrating.
Definitely.
That how someone like Campbell, who we all, there were some high hopes for him, but it's just he's going to get to his position just unwarranted. That's my gut feeling. It's just like it's not warranted.
Yeah,
but he's going to lose, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. People in the chat, I don't know who it was, but just trying to read back through the chat who mentioned it, but they want to just talk about this Anthony Yard, Buglioni, Burton situation. Are you up to speed with this?
So, Buglioni's fighting Johnson, and then Yard is meant to be fighting Hosea Burton to become the mandatory to the British. Is that right?
The British, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
Yard doesn't want to fight Burton to get. He wants to go straight to Buglioni. Well, tough shit.
So you're on the side that Yard should just fight him to get the opportunity.
Look, the board, whatever you say about them, they've made a decision where Buglioni is going to defend against Johnson. fine. If that's a decision, that's good. That's happening. Then the Burton Yard fight is a good fight for Yard. He should want to take that fight. Like, if he's that good, why is that a problem?
No,
then fight Buglioni. They're two good fights for him.
The thing is, if he was fighting like twice a year or something, then I'll think, well, do you want to waste a fight on Jose Burton? Because most people would consider Yard to beat Burton quite easily. But you're fighting bin men. You're fighting bin men like every 2 months. So
exactly.
why not fight Jose Burton? You know, like
it's a good fight for him.
Yeah. Because if he
can be as good as we all think he is, and what he says he is, brilliant. But this is how you prove it.
If you ice Burton early, then people are gonna think, "Oh shit,
you're a beast."
Buglioni struggled with him, stopped him near the end of the fight, but you just iced him clean. Then more people will want you versus Buglioni. It kind of makes sense.
It's just getting ideas above their station. I know Warren seems to be pumping him up big, but look, this is the right thing to do. He needs to fight someone at Burton's level because he hasn't fought anyone at Burton's level, has he, Cam, yet? Burton would have beaten and probably has beaten some of those guys that he fought.
Yeah, agreed.
So fight him, get on with it, knock him. If you're that good, knock him out. 3 months later, get the other fight. And then if you're fighting Buglioni, that's a good fight for London.
That's a good fight for the UK, man.
Yeah, but it sells tickets. Like you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. But it's still Warren putting out these fake offers, like another offer, didn't he? It's just the British board have said it. I wish there was a bit more like they've said it. Now, fucking promoters, you're gonna have to do it. Just get on with it because they're good fights. And if I was Warren, I would and the Yard's that good, I'd let him wander all over Sky icing people. Go over again next month, ice him, and come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's already on the Sky advertisements for Maxi Nutrition or whatever he does, so you might as well just get him icing people and then come back over to Box Nation and BT.
No, an away win is always better than a home win, isn't it? Yeah. Everyone loves an away win. So I'd let him go over there and take Sky's money and ice, because I think he beats all those guys, Cam.
Yeah, easily.
So let him get rich and you don't have to pay him as much, keep him on the contract, and then you've got a star.
Yep. Agreed.
So yeah, I think it's fine as it is. They made the right decisions.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Neota, Leon, anything else?
No.
Nothing that I see.
All right. Thank you, Neota, Leon, for jumping on the show today. All the people in the chat and all the people that download the show week in, week out. We'll be back next week. Peace.
You just listened to the Boxing Coalition.
Dude, man, I love boxing. I fucking love boxing.
A big shout out to the Boxing Coalition.
You're a newbie.
No, I ain't new, man.
If my fucking next door neighbour became the #1 flyweight in the world, you know what I'd do? I'd fucking walk past the cunt.
Derek, how you doing, bro?
I was physically bun you, blood.
I disagree.
First time I hear the show, man, it was fucking badass.
Vamos Argentina, la concha de su madre.
I see the bomb in them.
I get home and she's like, what the fuck? Me and the kid are here. Why don't you get home and talk to us? I'm like, man, you guys don't know shit about boxing.
Kel, how does it feel to be the new IBF champion?
Feels great. Did we really dive into the black hole right off the jump?
I think he's hiding glass. Just to play devil's advocate.
You want 1 portion of crow or 2 portions of crow?
Give me 2 portions with a supersized fries and a large drink, please.
I can't stand him, what? I'm Scottish.
Cringe side? But you won't rush Anthony fucking fat ass Joshua, would you? He's not fat.
How about you tell us what you weighed for your final thoughts?
My weight?
Thank you for listening to the Boxing Coalition. We are live every Monday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. UK time, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.